afternoon, Enmore Park members. Welcome to the second instalment of our handy tips and hints that will hopefully help you improve your scores. I have three things with me today. So I have a new Vokey sand wedge, a new Titleist Tour Soft golf ball, which is their middle of the road golf ball, and I also have, bizarrely, a tub of water. Now you're probably wondering why I have a tub of water. I basically want to show you today the difference in the amount of spin that you can get on the ball depending on the conditions that you're playing in. I have recently had a member come in and was talking about sand wedges, and they were saying that they never can seem to get the ball to stop quickly. That's something that I hear quite a lot. Technique is a big one on this, don't get me wrong, same with what we did with drivers. But actually having a newer sand wedge or pitching wedge where the grooves are sharp, and in between the grooves the club face is almost a bit like sandpaper, so it grabs the ball, will help. But also the conditions that you play in. If you're somebody who tends to play early on in the morning when the fairways have got a lot of dew on them, you'll see a massive difference in the spin rate between a dry golf ball and club face and a wet golf ball and club face. So I'm going to hit two shots. One first out with the dry club face and dry ball, and then secondly we're going to use the tub of water to wet the club face and wet the ball, and we'll show you the difference in the spin rate and how much it runs on when you don't have as much spin. So here we go. So we're basing this on 50 yards. I've got a 50-yard pitch. I've got a 56-degree sand wedge. This is brand new sand wedge. Hopefully my yardage is good. Okay, so I've landed, I think, 45-ish yards. 46 yards. Landed at 46 yards and ran out to 47 yards. So it's rolled 1 yard. So I'm now going to wet this club face. So we've got a wet club face and a wet golf ball. Here we go. I could definitely feel that run up the club face a lot more. I didn't feel any friction on the club face. That one is gone. So that one landed at 52 yards and then ran out 5 more yards. So we'll quickly show you this on the table as well. So let's have a look. Okay, so just before we show you the table of the two shots we've just hit, this is the graphic of the trajectories of those two shots. The lower one is actually the one that we had the most spin with, so that's with the dry golf ball and the dry club face. The reason the trajectory is lower is because of the friction between the club face and ball and the more spin that we create, and therefore we can see that when it's landed, it's barely ran at all. It's ran about 3 foot. The higher one is much higher. The reason for that is because there is less spin on the golf ball. It's ran up the club face a lot more. Although it's coming in on a slightly steeper angle, which in theory you'd think would be a good thing, because of that lack of spin, it's rolled out a lot more. It's rolled out 5 yards, so that's equivalent of, let's say, 15 feet. When we look at the actual table itself between the two shots, the big one here, the spin rate, nearly 7,000 RPMs with a dry club face and a dry golf ball, and more than half of that when we're looking at a wet club face and a wet golf ball, and therefore we can see the differences in the carries and the total run that we've had afterwards, 1 yard compared to 5 yards. So yes, technique is important. Like we said with a driver, being able to strike the ball cleanly is important. I would say most people hit it fairly cleanly, but it's the conditions that you play in. So if you tend to play early morning or you play when it's wet weather, your chances of getting any friction on that golf ball are limited, just because they're wet in essence. Also, the condition of your wedges is important as well. So obviously when you have a new club face, your grooves are sharp, and it's actually in between the club face that's the important bit, and that's making sure that they're almost a bit like sandpaper.
If I show you sort of a standard sand wedge across the board for most members where they've had it for a number of years, we can see here how worn it is. The grooves have been worn down, and in between it's very, very smooth, and therefore your chances again of getting friction on the golf ball are very limited. The type of golf ball you use is important as well. You're looking for a sort of a mid-range to a premium golf ball where the outer cover is softer, feels a bit more like a matte feel. These things all play a significant part in being able to produce the maximum spin available to you. So don't think that actually it's yourself that's making it unable to get the most amount of spin on the wedge shots. Sometimes it is, don't get me wrong, if our technique's not quite there, but actually a lot of the time it's the conditions that you play in and the conditions of your wedges and the golf ball that you use. I hope this video helps. If you have anything that you want to ask, either send me an email on pro@enmorepark.co.uk or pop in the shop and we can go through it further. Also, if there's anything that you want us to cover in any of our future videos, it'd be really good for us to hear, so we can start giving you more of the things that you want to know about. Until next time, I hope you enjoy your golf, and the sun's very much coming out now, so have a good rest of the season, and we'll catch you soon. Thank you.